is Vicinity 95.3 FM, Ikejile, Ijesha. I am Oluwafunke Israel with Global News. First, headlines. Inspector General of Police orders deployment of police officers nationwide for Eid festivities. Zimbabwe opposition groups reject proposed constitutional amendment by country's parliament. And Thailand lawmakers elect new prime minister. Now the news in full. The Inspector General of Police, Oluwafunke, has ordered the nationwide deployment of tactical assets to ensure the safety and security of lives and properties during Eid al-Fitr celebrations. In a statement today, Friday, by the police spokesperson Anthony Placid, the IGP directed commissioners of police and tactical commanders across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, to implement comprehensive security measures during the festive period. The directive includes strategic deployment of tactical teams and intelligence operatives, as well as the mobilization of special intervention squad and conventional police personnel to Eid prayer grounds and other critical infrastructure. These two also extend warm felicitations to Muslim faithful across Nigeria, congratulating them on the successful completion of the Ramadan fast and joyous occasion of Eid al-Fitr. Nigeria and United Kingdom have sealed new export agreement as both countries committed to taking their economic partnership to another level. A £746 million financial deal involving UK export finance, the Nigerian Port Authority and the Ministry of Finance for the refurbishment of Lagos Port Complex and Tinkan Island Port was signed. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer made the disclosure during a bilateral meeting with President Bola Tinubu at 10 Downing Street on the second day of the Nigerian leader's historic visit to Britain. President Tinubu, in his remark, revealed that Nigeria is currently undergoing strong reform and linked the terrorism challenges facing West Africa to climate change conflict. He noted that the country needs more trade agreements and economic relationship amid the current ongoing reforms. President Tinubu, who was on the state visit with his wife, Senator Remi Tinubu, arrived in Lagos in the early hours of Friday, today ending the two-day visit to the United Kingdom. Away from Nigeria, no fewer than 18 African migrants trying to reach the French Indian Ocean island of Mayotte have drowned off the Comoros. Officials and rescuers said they were part of a group of about 50 people dropped off by smugglers in the sea, some distance from shore, as they tried to reach the neighboring island. While some 30 survived, many of them could not swim, drowned. Interior Minister Mohammed Ahmada Asamani disclosed their bodies were recovered by residents of Meta, Smalley, fishermen and authorities. Survivors said they were from the Democratic Republic of Congo, headed to Mayotte, an attractive destination for migrants due to its relative French infrastructure and welfare. The UN International Organization for Migration said many African migrants pay smugglers to make the dangerous sea crossing from the continent, with thousands of people dying on the routes. A coalition of opposition groups in Zimbabwe, despite enduring torture and intimidation, continue to fight against a proposed constitutional amendment which will see President Emerson Mnangagwa's tenure extended. A law professor, Lomo Maduku, was assaulted in early March in an attack he blamed on police-backed security agents who he said stormed a meeting of his opposition party. It is one of many incidents reported by groups mobilizing against the proposed constitutional amendments passed by Cabinet last month. Police, however, denied involvement in the incident. The assault echoed previous crackdowns against Zimbabwe's opposition blamed on state forces. Maduku, who is a leader of the National Constitutional Assembly, said it has not weakened its resolve to fight the changes. A Defend the Constitution platform leader said they will not stop since the constitution gives ordinary Zimbabwean the right to protest Africa. You are listening to Vicinity 95.3 FM, transmitting live from Kejile, Ijesha. Global News will continue shortly.
Music. Sports. Entertainment. Politics. All on your darling station, Vicinity 95.3 FM, Kejile, Ijesha.
Thanks for staying tuned. For news updates and live streaming, visit our website at vicinity953fm.com.ng. You can also provide us information via email at vicinitynewsroom@gmail.com or call 070-6108-3107. Now the rest of the news. Amid the conflict in the Middle East, a recent drone attack has set ablaze a giant oil refinery in Kuwait on Friday. Firefighters battled the inferno following a fresh drone attack as Iran kept up a wave of strikes on its neighbors and vowed there was no concern about its missile production. This comes as Iranian authorities vowed to retaliate an Israeli strike that damaged its South Pass gas field, which draws on the world's biggest known gas reserve and is vital for domestic supplies. Despite calls for an end to targeting Gulf energy infrastructure by European leaders, the escalating damage to Gulf infrastructure has spiked oil and gas prices again and led to fears of lasting damage to global supplies, even as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu indicated an end to the war. Thailand's new parliament has elected Anutin Charnvirakul as Prime Minister. House Speaker Sufon Zaram revealed on the floor of the legislature that the parliament voted Charnvirakul to become Prime Minister, noting the incumbent had gathered more than half of the ballots. The Prime Minister received 293 votes from newly seated lawmakers to win the premiership, with his rival Natafong Nupayaworth gaining 119, while 86 members of the parliament abstained. Anutin's appointment comes after his pro-military and pro-monarchy party had its best electoral performance ever in February, following 2 rounds of deadly border crashes with Cambodia last year. The Southeast Asian nation's new government will have to handle the fallout from the Middle East war, slow economic growth, and lingering border tensions with neighbor Cambodia. A bit of sport. Super Eagles head coach Eric Shell has made a bold statement ahead of Nigeria's upcoming international friendlies, dropped several high-profile names, which include Victor Osimhen and first-choice goalkeeper Stanley Wambali from his latest squad. Team captain Wilfred Ndidi returns to anchor the side alongside midfielder regular Alex Iwobi and former African Footballer of the Year Ademola Lookman, who is expected to lead the attack in the absence of Osimhen. The exclusion of Osimhen and Wambali headline a sweeping reshuffle of the squad that featured at the 2025 African Cup of Nations, with Chel opting to assess new options and reconfigure his team ahead of the features against Iran and Jordan. Global News, another look at the headlines. The Inspector General of Police, Oluwafunke, has ordered nationwide deployment of tactical assets to ensure safety and security of lives and properties during the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. I told you that a coalition of opposition groups in Zimbabwe continue to fight against the proposed constitutional amendments, which will see President Emerson Mnangagwa's term extended despite enduring torture and intimidation. Lastly, you heard Thailand's new parliament has elected Anutin Charnvirakul as Prime Minister with 293 votes from lawmakers. And before we go, the last line, Eid Mubarak, wishing all Muslim faithful a joyous and peaceful celebration. That was Global News. That was packaged and edited by Oluwafunke Israel. Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for news nationwide at 6 o'clock. Good afternoon.